We are not there yet. It's artificial general intelligence. AGI is not a reality yet, but it could happen because all the construct for that is already in place. So that is artificial intelligence. Machine learning is something that is kind of like what I like to call very crudely the bastard child of AI. Meaning, whatever AI has figured out and is doing on a regular basis, machine learning basically figures out, well, if it was a Tuesday and the wait times went up to this, and this was done, and this was the feedback, and over time, the last 89 Tuesdays, this same thing happened, then machine learning essentially says, well, all I got to do is put these two together, put this in place, and then I got an algorithm that's going to tell me, even before it has happened, that this is what's going to happen, this is what needs to be done to get that thing addressed. So that's basically machine learning. Over time, the machine, it's like showing a 2-year-old how to do something. She does it, gets it wrong, we correct it, then we tell her to watch how we do it, then over and over, eventually she figures out. That's learning, that's human learning. Machine learning kind of tries to mimic that, but also in a very narrow sense. The reason these things have succeeded is because what takes us maybe months to perform, these can do in nanoseconds. That's why they're beneficial to us. And we should use them, we should harness them. Predictive analytics, of course, self-explanatory. So these are, again, the usual suspects that come into play when we talk about how we can bring in technology. Now, how does it relate to designing a hospital? Now, if you can look at, let's say, a fall risk, or let's say accidents that took place in the hospital involving patients or the patient's family. Now, if there's artificial intelligence, and if that artificial intelligence can put together 89 different factors, variables, and figure out what was the connection, what was that little thing that actually is causing this particular problem. Not an intuitive gut feeling, not something that somebody walks around and says, that's because of this. It's not that. What I'm talking about is having absolute proof that you've taken too many factors, too many variables that a human brain is not capable of processing on its own. When you have something like that, when you can apply that, and I've talked to the architect here, an interior designer here, they can also use these technologies because over and over and over, what we have done incorrectly is to relate it to our context today. I was watching that movie, the short clip that you had, this Puri. There's a robot that comes and hands a tray with a glass of water, and what it looks like a tablet. Well, in the future, who knows? We may not even be taking tablets. We may not even have to drink water. So that's where the human imagination is very, very limited. So, we go all this extent to talk about a humanoid robot. And that's going to do what your maid Lakshmi can do? Seriously? This is what you want the robot for? See, that's where the imagination is very, very stunted for us. What we need to look at is, if you're designing a building, you're designing the entire structure, you're designing the interior, step away from what we know, what we've done, what we are used to, what we're surrounded by, and just simply look at it and say, what are the things that I used to do 10 years ago that I don't do anymore? How many of us look for a Yellow Pages anymore? How many of us call a friend and ask, hey, that new restaurant opened up, what do you think about it? And we just go to Zomato. Everything that we have ever done, we don't do anymore. And this is within our lifespan. And not even lifespan. I shouldn't say our, your lifespan. I'm the oldest guy in this room. However, if you think about it that way, if you think in everything that you do, that you step away from what you know, what you've experienced, how you have done all your jobs until now, and say, how would I want it to be? Or what did I used to do that I don't do today? That's where all these things actually shine and help us do much better. The intelligence flywheel is a phrase that I borrowed from Amazon. Amazon today is the stealth machine. Nobody gives it enough credit. they're way ahead of Facebook, Google, any of these, the big four companies out there, Microsoft, Apple. Technology-wise, Amazon is way ahead. If you can define Amazon, I'll give you 1,000 rupees on the spot. Because Amazon does not have a physical construct, it doesn't have